When we talk about this idea of rejection is protection, we're not just talking about other people. We're also talking about the ways that we are rejecting ourselves, the ways that we are not aligning with our own authenticity. If we use those moments to go within and ask ourselves, what are we not giving ourselves permission to express or to be? This can literally be how we develop a more erotic relationship with ourselves. The way that this really works is by understanding that the cringe, all the things that you tell yourself that you can't say or that you can't be, they're all products of this indoctrination into the society that we live in that is inherently capitalist, colonialist, and that is inherently anti-expression. And so you have been literally programmed in so many different ways to reject yourself. And so if we take those moments of rejection, if we take those moments of cringe, if we take those moments of, oh, I feel uncomfortable, and we lean more into them as invitations for deeper levels of self-reflection and self-initiation into our authenticity, we can literally start to break through so many barriers. When we think about the most successful people in the world, and I love to use this analogy, whatever your definition of success is, when we think about the most successful people in the world, the only thing that they're doing that we can begin to understand as is the roadblock that we need to move through and that we need to say yes to. The only thing that they're doing that we could all adopt is higher levels and higher degrees of unfiltered expression. Throughout your childhood, in school, in your family structure, in society, we have been molded and molded and molded to become who exactly society wants us to be. And the moment that you start to question the mold, the moment that you start to question your relationship with yourself, the moment that you start to question your relationship with your own emotions, the moment that you start to question your relationship with the things that are good, quote unquote, and the things that are bad, quote unquote, is the moment that you can begin to redefine what your life looks like. Because the fact of the matter is, greatness is not measured by how many rules you follow. Greatness is measured by the degree of expression that you allow yourself to embody. Anyone who is great questioned everything. Anyone who is great questioned the status quo. Anyone who has ever been great in society from the dawn of time has questioned the things that we do. And we're not talking about in an egotistical sense. We're talking about merging with the Ori. We're talking about becoming the higher self. We're talking about becoming the highest expression of ourselves. Anything that is great, anyone that is great, first must move into that self-initiation, into their deepest level of authenticity. Understanding that in that initiation isn't just going to be being louder, being more boisterous, being more. A lot of times that initiation to your authenticity is actually being less of what other people want you to be, less of what your family has told you should be. And in this process of awakening your authenticity, you will be met with backlash. You will be met with resistance. You will be met with rejection. But this rejection is always a reflection of the internal self-judgment that is being misdirected, either from others or from yourself. Being great is just becoming more of you. And becoming more of you doesn't always involve becoming more of anything. Sometimes becoming more of you involves becoming less of what other people want you to be. Something that we have to begin to recover within ourselves is who we were before other people told us who we should be. Understanding how to recover your own sense of authenticity is not just something that is frivolous, it is something that is a survival skill. As we move through the age of Aquarius, we are going to see so many different societal constructs begin to crumble We're going to see so many systems that we once have put our trust in for so long begin to literally become dismantled. And we're going to start to see a major shift within the collective consciousness. And so what that also means is the shifts that we are experiencing in our external reality reflect the shifts and deconstruction that is happening within our own spirits, our psyches, our minds, our subtle bodies, our physical bodies, all aspects of us. And so when you begin to lose things, when you lose things that you thought were always going to be here, when you lose things that you thought would never leave you, you start to understand that this is the age of truth. You can no longer ignore the truth that you are feeling within. You can no longer ignore your soul's calling. You can no longer ignore what you know you are meant here to do. See, many of us have moved through and are being called to right now another period of isolation as a subconscious attempt to recover our spirit's authenticity. Because sometimes we can only find ourselves, all the times I would argue, we can only find ourselves when we're able to actually hear ourselves, when we're able to really feel into what does my voice sound like. And in that self-inquiry, in that sense of self-discovery is also a reawakening of the divinity that exists within all of us. It is so important for us to begin to recover our authenticity, to begin to reconnect with our Oris, our higher selves, and to begin to shift into a space of honoring what is true for us. This is a powerful time right now. If you are losing something that is perfect, if you are finding yourself breaking away from something that you thought was always going to be in your life, you are right on time. If you thought that your life was going to look completely different and now everything has changed, you are right on time. If you have found yourself in a deep sense of loss, you are right on time. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. The earth is in a contraction phase. In the contraction phase, anything that is not built on a foundation of truth will be dismantled. And so the question here is, what are you deciding to intentionally tear down? What are you deciding to intentionally deconstruct? Surrender is not a passive act. Surrender happens when you understand that there is in fact someone coming to save you, something coming to save you, that there is in fact something that is working in your favor, that there is in fact this beautiful energy that we all have access to that is continuing to put us on a path of renewal, of life, of joy. But what surrender really is, it's actively falling forward towards the things that scare us but simultaneously excite us, forward towards the things that we don't know how but we know we want to, forward towards the things that our soul calls us, listening to that internal guidance system. Right now is a time for you to reconnect with source, and if you're having a hard time with this idea of source, I invite you to see patriarchal based religions for what they are: mechanisms for control and disconnection. There is no middleman between you and the divine. There is no middleman between you and truth. And the only truth is love, and anything of limitation is inherently not of truth. And so if there's any moment in time on your journey where you feel limited, if there's any moment in time in your journey where you feel like you are being forced to choose, it is not of truth, and it is an illusion. This is a time for you to rediscover your purpose. Now, I know you guys are probably here. I know you guys are probably so tired of me talking about purpose. But I'm going to continue to talk your ear off about this until you fucking listen. Because as we enter this era of Aquarius, your purpose will start to come in your face. More and more and more. Your purpose will start to cloud your vision. The more that you go to that job, to that obligation that is out of alignment with your purpose will start to redirect you. Your purpose will start to make you feel uncomfortable. Your purpose will start to yell at you so loudly that you now start to feel completely off. You're getting insomnia. You're waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning every morning. You're trying to figure out why do I feel like something is missing? And if also you're somebody who is on my page because you love the astrology and the zodiac and the fast spells and this and that and the third, sure, 100%. But I need you to understand that it's deeper than this. Any of these tools can be used to pull us back within. But if you're using any of these tools as a mode of escape, then you're running away from your truth. The truth is, you came here for a reason. The truth is, you are here in this earth at this time for the specific reason that spirit has placed on you. And the truth is, the longer that you ignore it and the longer that you try to escape from it, the more suffering you'll cause within your own being, within yourself. And so what is your truth that you're ignoring? See, when we talk about rejection is protection, we can also look at this in a very different way. Rejection, yes, from other people, yes, is protection. Sure. But what we're really talking about here is our relationship with ourselves. And what we're talking about here is using rejection, moments of rejection, as invitations into understanding what we deny within ourselves. The things that you want to do that you said, no, I can't. The things that you want to be that you said, no, I can't. Even when it comes down to the colors that you wear, even when it comes down to the ways that you express yourself, the ways that you limit yourself, the ways that you reject your own being, the ways that you reject your own self-expression. Meditate on them. Meditation is the act of purifying the mind through observation. And when we are able to observe the ways and reasons that we reject ourselves, they actually become divine portals into self-initiation. Divine portals into authenticity, divine portals into enlightenment, divine portals into understanding who we actually are. Because who we think that we are, especially if you're new to this work or wherever you are on your journey, who that you think that you are most likely is just an egoic reaction to what you have denied about yourself. See, your ego is not this big thing, 100%. You can maybe see it as that. But when we look at the work of Sigmund Freud, we could begin to understand that the ego is really just a sorting mechanism. The ego has taken all of your id, which is your instinct, where the energy of Eros and Thanatos exists. Eros being the renewal of life force, Thanatos being the energy of destruction. Ego takes information from the id and decides what will be expressed and what will not. It decides what parts of us are allowed to be seen. And so many times, yes, it's a protection mechanism. And so we can see, having a big ego and stuff like that, it's a protection mechanism for survival. But it first started off as a sorting mechanism. And so we can begin to look at rejection as protection. Why? Because the era that we're moving into as a collective is going to need the most authentic version of you. And you find the most authentic version of yourself by analyzing what you have rejected within your own being. It's time to wake up. It's time to understand your truth. And it's time to initiate yourself into your next level of authenticity through embracing the things that everyone has told you to reject about yourself. You are so much more than you think.